morning. It is Tuesday, November 7th. I'm actually by myself in the gym today. If you watched the first video, thanks for watching. Welcome back. If this is the first one you're watching, welcome for the first time. On the agenda for today, I am going to be trying a little bit of new stuff on P-bars mainly. My shoulder is feeling better. Horse, I'll be trying to do last halves because yesterday I did my first half work and some scissors, so today will be last halves and scissors because I need to fix my scissors. P-bars, I did a bunch of support yesterday, which was really good. Pop some clips up from that.
Nice job. Yes. You're fine, you're fine. Nice.
Floor was good yesterday. I just did my last half work. She ended up doing one sequence where I stuck all three passes for the first time in a long time, so that felt pretty good. But yeah, today on floor we'll be doing more full double fronts, maybe some lay double fulls, but I want to focus more on full double fronts. Other than that, the split on my hand from last week, it is a lot better. Not raw anymore, but I definitely want to make sure before I go back on high bar that it is like healed, so there's no chance of it cracking again. So I didn't do high bar yesterday. I'm definitely not going to do it today, even though I said last time I'm definitely not going to do it. I still did it anyways. This time I'm being serious. Thursday, assuming my split is all better, I'll be able to hop back up on high bar and start doing a little bit more there. Probably going to be quite a bit of ranting, to be honest, just because I'm by myself in here for the next 4 hours. To be honest, sometimes that helps. Just kind of thinking out loud, bouncing some ideas off of myself, even just hearing myself say it. Sometimes it helps me actually remember for the next turn, and sometimes it helps. Usually the first thing that I do when I come in that I didn't show last time, I got to set up the rod floor landing that's in the pit, because I personally hate going into the pit unless I'm trying to learn something new, which I'm not right now. So funny enough, I actually use that as my warm-up because the mats are heavy as hell, and usually by the time I'm done setting those up, I've already got a little bit of a sweat going. Then I can just start my stretch and rehab, and then ready to go. So let's get it. Mats are all set up. Thankfully, I didn't have to do too much work to set them up, as you saw, because the college teams yesterday didn't end up going into the pit. So I usually end up having to hop in the pit and kind of fluff it again, and then lay all the mats down, which usually takes a lot longer. So I got lucky today. Already got the ankle weights on. Gonna be doing the same warm up as last time. Don't worry, I'm not gonna show all of it. Might rant a little bit in between. I've got the London Olympics playing on the laptop right now, even when Zach is here. So I like to keep myself occupied, watch some gymnastics, get in the right mindset. Maybe I can learn a thing or two, gets the wheels turning a little bit for how I can fix something that I'm doing. This morning was one of the few mornings where I trained later in the morning that I actually didn't go to the gym back where I live once I woke up, where I usually go do cardio and rehab stuff. Yesterday morning, I did the same thing, but I actually got through all my rehab for my shoulder, knee, and wrist. So the only thing I would have done this morning was go and ride the bike and help me wake up a little bit. But instead, I just took Maui on, I don't know, like a 20-25 minute walk or something like that to help me get my body moving. And where usually I'll go and stretch after I ride the bike there for my shoulders and my quads and my hamstrings and all that stuff, I'll just spend a little bit more time here warming up. But because I practiced yesterday, even though I'm a little tired and sore, I guess, I feel better today than I did when I started yesterday because I took Saturday and Sunday off. So when you get to a higher level of gymnastics, I've come to realize that I do my best gymnastics, and I think it's true for most people, when you don't feel 100% rested. I'd say it's around like, I don't know, 80 to 90% recovered, because that way your body is basically like primed and ready to do gymnastics, I guess. Whenever I take even just one day off, I come in that next day for the first training of the week or whatever it is, I feel like a little bit rusty, and it takes me at least like half of that practice to feel like more back to normal. Whereas today, hopefully I don't jinx it, fingers crossed, but I think I'll be ready to go a little bit quicker today, even though I am a little bit tired. These are the glute activation exercises that I usually do before doing any landings or anything like that, to make sure my butt muscles and my hips are firing properly, so all the load doesn't just go straight to my knees. Just the regular resistance band. I don't even know what these are. I think they're called like clams or something like that. No set number of reps. I just do it until it burns, and then I do a few more, get some blood flow in there. My right knee is great, but I may as well do both sides just to make things as even as possible. And even holding here, I feel it in my left hip, which is the one that I'm trying to target. So then the other one, I feel it more in my glutes. I put the band right underneath my big toe, and as I lift and pull out with my right arm, I have to push down and out with my leg so it doesn't fly out like that, and hold for about 5 seconds. And I'll do that, I don't know, 5 to 7 times until I just really feel this working. So, all right, done. Of course, can't neglect the shoulder warm up, eyes wise T's and W's, always a great start. And the usual eccentric dumbbell internal rotation. Boom. Usual skin the cat. All right, basic lines. You'll have to bear with me. My press strength is kind of lacking right now, especially with these massive 1 pound ankle weights. Haven't been able to do a lot of the pressing just because the AC joint. All right, with the ankle weights on, a couple sets of forward pirouettes, a couple sets of swinging handstand reverse pirouettes, my 1 bar handstand hold just to warm up. My tricep actually from that fall that I had on Ginger on Friday, I thought I was gonna be worried about like bruising my forearms, which they did, but that's not the worst part, because I really quickly tried to like push on the bar to stop myself from hitting it. My tricep got super sore. I had no idea, and it's definitely better now. It's on the mend, but I feel it most when I'm trying to do something with lock arms, and it just feels like very, very tired. Like I have to worry about it kind of buckling whenever I'm swinging, which is very weird, especially because it happened 4 days ago now. Hopefully that doesn't happen. Got to deal with it anyways. Let's do some pirouettes. Goodness. One set down. It's crazy how much 1 pound or 2 pounds affects my ability to do swing handstand pirouettes properly. It really forces me to be just that much tighter. Otherwise, I'm not going to be able to swing a handstand. My arm's almost buckled. Woo. That set was much better. Just towards the end, I think it was like the 7th and 8th one that I was swinging down and body got loose, and I was just basically focused on not letting my arm buckle. Now for reverse pirouettes. If I learned anything from last time on the first set, it was that as I step out, I cannot let my left arm buckle. It's just gonna pull me right to the outside. If anything, I need to push the opposite direction and leave my heels on the inside and just trust that I'll be able to step fast enough. Better than my forward pirouettes. What the heck? They were smooth, tall, tight. Didn't feel like I was fighting as much. Usually forward pirouettes feel like that. Reverse is all funky, but hey, at least these were good today. Well, first set. To be fair, I also only did 4, whereas forward pirouettes I usually do 6 to 8. Need to try and get both of those both to 10, or be able to do forward and reverse, same turn, and kind of not even have to think about it. I just do it. All right, second set. All right, see now, that is crazy. I need to learn to start now. Okay. All right, normally, if I just fall on one, I get back up and I finish the turn like I try to do. I fell on 3 in a row. That's just not counting. Especially after how good that first set felt. Fuck. One more. Come on. No! Ah! There's one. Jesus. I'll be honest. My arms were just straight up giving out. That was all over the place. I have 0 expectations for this 1 bar handstand. I will take it. The trick for these that I've figured out, as soon as your feet leave the bars, it sounds obvious, kind of stupid, but as soon as I'm kicking up, I'm already trying to be as extended as I possibly can. Not necessarily as tight as I possibly can. I want to be able to have a little bit of wiggle room, so to speak, but once I'm all the way like locked out, the only thing I try and do is slight open my hips or close if I need it, and then all in my wrists, which I guess that sounds kind of obvious, but sometimes I forget it. One more good attempt. normal track landings, get through them kind of quick. My legs are a little sore, tired. I want to save them for floor, but I don't want to neglect the landings just because they do help me warm up, and I just want to keep things the same as normal. Oh, haven't done that in a while. That was 1, 2, 3, 4, 9, 15. 15 turns. Went 15 for 15 on sticks. My legs, ankles, calves, not necessarily hurting, but they're not very springy. So floor is gonna be interesting, but I'm gonna try and keep this momentum going. That doesn't usually happen. I usually will at least mess up one, and it's probably like one that I will usually stick. I don't usually like starting pommels, but usually leave it for the end, and I'll put a little bit of extra effort and energy into each event really, but by the time I get the pommels, I usually tire out. So I think I'm gonna start pommels, and it might take me a little bit of extra time to warm up and like get going before I start doing quality turns, but all right. First turn, not feel good. Arms are still very tired. My wrists hurt. Second turn did feel a little better. I'm also thinking now too, just so I'm not jumping the gun at all and end up having like a really rough day in terms of like achieving what I want to. I haven't done Tong Feis in the last, I guess, 2.5 weeks now because of my thumb, and Tong Feis are already a skill that are kind of tricky for me anyways. So to not just expect myself, okay, you got to make 3 last hats. I'm gonna start just making a Tong Fei first and then go from there. If I can make one, well, okay, when I make one, I'll put the direct Stockley in front of it. And then if I make the Tong Fei, I'll keep going. And if I make the dismount, great. But I gotta start with dismount first just in case I do make it to the end. That'll be the new plan of attack. First dismount attempt in, I believe, around 3.5 weeks. See how the shoulder feels. My AC joint actually felt okay. I think the key when I go for the dismount to make sure it doesn't hurt is I don't step up, lean back already, because that will make me fall really heavy onto that left arm. As long as I get a nice tall step up, what I like to think about is choosing when I want to go down to that leather hand placement. When I'm tired and I don't have as good of a step up and I'm kind of falling, trying to save myself, basically doing a 1-arm press. But good sign. That is a perfect example of not having the best step up and kind of falling back. So put a lot more pressure on the left arm. Good news, I did have to work kind of hard with the left one to get up to handstand. And my AC joint feels okay. Not just okay, like I guess it feels normal, just not as quick as it usually is, but understandable and expected for not having done these for 3.5 weeks now. So the main thing that I know I need to remember is when I reach with my right arm, making sure it's nice and tall and not shrugged, and turning my right hand. Because if I don't, I'm gonna come around and my hand's gonna be all backwards, which is the exact reason why I ended up ripping my thumb in the first place. Ugh, I don't even know what I did wrong on that, to be honest. Might have let my legs drop, kind of just threw myself over there. All right, I watched that first one back. It was actually a little better than I thought. I did see, especially from this angle, that I'm reaching with my right arm already like very closed off. As soon as my right hand leaves the leather, I need to be reaching out and then pushing off my left so I can get all the way down the horse. I don't know what happened on that Savado, but the Tong Fei felt better. I need to stop taking so many circles before I go. I need to make sure I start with a nice tall circle. I keep having that hand on the handle already bent. I made a good one. That's a good step. Tong Fei, yeah, it was good. It was a little too hollow for my liking with my feet a little low. When I went to the Savado and I tried to turn to the back loop, I tried to put my left hand back and I didn't lean back nearly enough. I just leaned on my left, and that's why I put my right hand down and kind of just fell that way. I know I said once I made the Tong Fei, I would put the direct stock in front of it and try and do the whole thing, but I don't feel confident enough with my Tong Fei. I think it'd be better to just start at the Tong Fei each time, and whatever I make after that is kind of like icing on the cake. If I can't make the Tong Fei consistently right from the very start, there's just no point in putting even a simple skill in front of it, because it'll probably throw me off a little bit, and yeah, that's all. Hey, the Savado got super closed off trying to step up for that dismount, but 2 in a row for the Tong Feis. Take it. Man, I am tired already. Holy. Assuming I can make the Tong Fei Savado again, and even if it's not pretty, I'm just trying to get through right now. One thing that I've learned on dismount, especially now that I'm doing it from step up, I've already noticed that I've done on the first 3 or 4 dismount attempts, however many I've done today, is that when I step up, I have to have my left arm, the first arm that I step up with, it has to be straight, so I can push down really, really tall and get my right hand in on more like the flat part of the handle. I came around and put my right hand down a little bit on that rounded part. It's very uncomfortable for your wrist to bend that way. So as soon as pressure gets put on your thumb, your elbow's gonna wanna bend. You can really try and focus on getting my right hand in right in the middle of the pommel on that flat part. A lot easier to put my hand down and keep that right arm straight, so I have a strong base going into the dismount. Came around, I didn't finish pushing off, getting down the horse, so I came around and grabbed the handle kind of weird. I think it felt kind of level at least, but it's frustrating. It felt like a good turn, and then, damn. Oh my goodness. Nice and strong on my arms. Pretty sure my legs just dropped. I need to squeeze my butt, keep my hips down, so as I come around, I don't have to worry about clipping the horse. This is where it gets frustrating, when I know what I need to do. It just happens so quickly that it's hard to make that adjustment in a split second. You know, you can do everything right, but one small thing throws everything off. Ruins the turn, ruins the vibe. As long as I'm not doing the same thing over and over, and I'm at least changing something each time, over time it will get better. It's just annoying in the moment. I think that's 5 attempts. Give myself a max of 8. We'll see where we get on the next 3. All right, new turn. Learn enough from the first 5. Sometimes you gotta be your own hype man this turn. Knock it out the park. Oh, yes, sir, baby. Woo! Not sure if y'all saw it, but my foot cramped halfway through that Savado. Oh, shit.
Yeah, I heard that.
That's so funny. I thought I was alone. It's awkward as hell.
I heard you. I was like, I didn't see the other cars out there, but it'd be that good then.
I wasn't amazing. Screwed the first 5 Tong Feis, and I was like, you know what? You gotta be your own hype man every once in a while. And I was like, I'm gonna do a good turn. I don't even know what I said, but my triceps are still. Oh, something did rip. I was gonna say mid-turn, I thought I felt something pop. Now I got the confidence that I can make it. I'm gonna try and do one more. I've got 2 more attempts, but I'm hoping I knock it out on this one. No! Oh my God, I'm so dumb. I'm so dumb. I'm so dumb. I stepped up, okay, and then instead of just tightly driving my heels down, I did the stupid, loose open, close, thinking it was gonna get me up to handstand. Tong Fei was a little pikey. Savata was definitely pikey, that's why it slowed down. That's the other thing too. Yes, straight arm, really, really tall pressure, stepping up onto that one pommel. But at the same time, I'm pushing down to get a nice step up. I have to remember to lead with my hips and not my toes. If I step up and I don't lead with my hips, it's nice and open, and I scoop my toes, by the time I actually get my right hand in, my hips are gonna be rolled out and they'll be facing over there, which means it's gonna be harder and I'm gonna have a lot less time to drive my heels down and then snap up to a handstand. As I grab and push down, the hips need to be turned towards the right. Basically, yeah, just don't let my hips roll out. Not necessarily a learning lesson, I already knew that. It's a reminder, it's something I usually focus on. I'm just a little bit out of practice right now. Uno mas. Shout out Maynards, or Maynards, however you say it. Fuzzy Peaches, Canadian candies. They're like peach rings, but better. Americans, don't come for me. If you had them, I promise you'd say they're better. It's not just a Canadian thing, they're better. All right, I wasn't fully locked in on that one. One more, no matter what, and then I'm done. This is what I'm talking about. I hate ending on a bad one. No matter what, this will be my 9th one and it'll be my last one. It's just frustrating when I feel like I've made progress and I try and get that one more good one and then it starts to decline a little bit. Last one, best one. That was just so ugly. And I still could have made that dismount. That's the annoying part. As shitty as the Tong Fei Savata was, open back up, and the step up was okay. My hips rolled out a little bit. Just to get my bearings back on dismount. For the next day that I have this same kind of workout, I'm gonna try and end on 1 2/3 travel to a nice dismount, and then we'll do my scissors and then move on to floor. Trying to look at the big picture. Not having trained a whole lot of dismounts in the last 3 weeks, when it's already like not my strong suit, especially when I'm tired, and just press strength in general, I think I gotta be a little easier on myself, at least for the next session or two, including this one, before I get too frustrated at myself. It's one thing to be disappointed and expect myself to make it, but definitely shouldn't beat myself up over this being the first day, especially when I said at the beginning that the Tong Feis were gonna be the main focus. Even though those weren't good, I'd make it and I just keep going, and then I start thinking, oh, okay, I have to make the dismount, and that wasn't even the original plan. So, not a great day, but definitely not a bad day. Move on to scissors. All right, time for scissors. I'm gonna do anywhere between, I'd say 5 to 8. I'm just focusing on C-scissor right now, because if I can't do that well, and learning to catch with that handle hand and have strong pressure, do a nice smooth pickup, Mikulek it shouldn't even be credit. So there's not really a whole lot of point in just forcing that right now. So I'm really just trying to focus on C-scissor, making it smoother, a little higher, straight the right leg, and just mainly a strong catch that pushes down and opens up to do a smooth swing and kick. Not bad for the first one. Not perfect, but I was expecting a lot worse. Big thing I'm trying to focus on, that's why I'm putting the camera at this angle, is as my left leg swings up at the start, I don't want to kick up and then over just for that left leg to have to come back again. It takes longer, so I want to kick my left leg up and leave it there as I'm pushing to the side, and then my right leg is the one that comes like back and then around, and as my right leg comes through, I want to be able to squeeze my butt a little bit more. So instead of coming down and kind of like, not sitting on the horse because I'm doing better at that, but closing up, I want to have one that pushes down and opens as it swings down so it looks nice and smooth. heavier jump, but I feel like I'm still jumping. And that right leg, I'm coming down and kind of like hiking and pulling my butt back instead of being nice and open, trying to treat it like a swing on P-bars or high bar. I think it's just a bad habit at this point. As much as I hate it, this is a really good angle for me to see if I'm doing things properly. It's always been a problem that when I jump, I kind of jump and pull my butt back, and that left leg that stays down, it goes back and then kind of slams into the horse. And that's what I think causes me to like kind of hump up and pike on the way down instead of jumping already to a nice open position. And then because I'm also rushing the turn, you'll see my right leg bend a little bit too. Like a domino effect, one thing leads into another. I think if I can focus on fixing one thing and really pushing my hips forward into the pommel, I think it'll help me kick later, not bend my knee as much, so on and so forth. That one was quiet, so I think it was smoother. Felt so much tighter, and then as soon as I came and put that left hand in, it just kind of went soft. Oh! Ah! Felt more open. I keep just coming down so hard on that one handle. Last one, then I'm gonna move on to floor. Really gonna try, obviously, keeping the front leg straight, as open as I can, but making sure when I swing that left leg up, it doesn't just go straight up and then over. I want to leave it back on this side more as much as I can. I think that'll help me when I come down, grabbing that left with the left arm, not letting it buckle and leaning back and being closed off. We might be getting somewhere. Definitely not perfect, but like I said earlier with the tongue face, as long as I'm not doing the same thing over and over and over, and I'm trying to do something different, I think that was a good one to end on. At least it felt good. We'll see what it looks like. Oh yeah, that might have been one of the best ones I've done. This is gonna have to be a quick and efficient floor session. I'm not hurting. I'm just very slow everywhere. So trying to do the same thing as Friday, starting with a couple good lay double fulls, and then see where we get with full double fronts. If they're really not working, goodness, flies in here. That must smell like shit. We'll go over to rod floor and try and do a little bit there and see what we can get done. I don't think I talked about it last time. I found out last fall around this time that I have a partially torn meniscus in my right knee. It's not anything crazy. It's a small tear. My orthopedic surgeon back in Nebraska already told me, he said it's not, I think what he said is it's basically not worth it to do surgery because it's so small, but it does cause me quite a bit of pain. As long as I'm staying on top of my knee rehab, stretching, and then just strengthening and stabilizing everything around it with my normal knee rehab and, you know, not overloading it when doing floor, I'm okay. But it is one thing I have to be careful of because if I'm sitting for too long, it'll stiffen up, and standing up, it feels like I can't like fully straighten my leg, or trying to be ready for these really tight punches that are kind of blind coming out of the layout, or I'm just putting a lot of effort into to do the full double front. I just have to be careful. The same thing as my left patellar tendon, where if I'm not ready for that punch, it's gonna hurt. I just have to be careful, but it's definitely, my meniscus is pretty sore today, and it's annoying, but it's a nice change from not only thinking about my left patellar tendon. All right, those weren't the best warm-ups. I can definitely tell that when I'm punching into the layout, it's A, flat-footed, but B, I'm not doing enough dropping my chest and turning over before driving my heels, which is why I'm coming out a little bit more with my chest back, and it feels like the punch is a lot heavier than it should be. That one felt terrible. Going to the layout, everything just felt very segmented and heavy. It just didn't feel smooth. I was trying to be as ready as I possibly could, and everything just... I hurdled. I brought my knees up so high. I need to focus. That one was much quicker of a punch, but man, my legs even just trying to run to pick up the speed before going into the layout, it just feels so slow, and like I'm trying to like force it. It feels like it throws everything off just from the start. So I think at this point I'm just gonna try and get through, feel the same kind of tight punch on like 1 or 2 more, break out a little earlier, and we'll move on. Not what I was looking for. Left my chest back, but still brought my arms forward. Was not ready for the punch. Felt it right in my lower back. I'll give it one more. I'll just try and at least get a tight punch, even if it's going forwards and not getting a big change in direction, just to break out and land square. I don't know if that timer was good or not. It's probably shit, but I'm still gonna try the double fronts and just hope I land it. Oh boy. At least I'm getting them around my feet. This is just straight up like willpower, just trying to pull them around to my feet. The front folds, again, feel super labored. I feel very flat-footed. I'm not squaring up before I punch. I'm punching like slightly under twisted with my one arm down. I'm just gonna try and get this third one around to my feet. Well, cool, I stuck it. I don't know why that one worked. Again, I think it was more just like straight up willpower. I thought when I punched into the full that I dropped my chest too low, and usually when that happens, like right away, I'm much more likely to break out and be A, under twisted, B, not be like as ready, because I'm in this like weird arch position, so I'm punching for the double front kind of like sideways almost. I guess if you're tight enough and you just shove the arms up fast enough to get that change in direction, so you can get around. But so I'm gonna try and do some full double pikes. Same thing, I'll try and do like 3 good ones and go to P-bars. Same problem as floor, kinda. I'm really barreling in. That works on days that I feel really good. I also let go kind of early there. I'm just trying to get in my feet, pull my feet under, take the hop forward. Same thing, I dropped into the full, and I was like trying to sit up so fast that I actually almost overdid it, so it went full double pike, whereas the last one it did shoot up, but I wasn't like ready for it. That one I was ready for, but I pulled forward. I was thinking too much about the rotation instead of the quick set and then pulling. I know I almost stuck that one, but that one was more of like a pulling until I landed and then just like a really quick open. If I did stick it or whatever landing you want to call that, like I just fell into it. I wasn't ready for it. I'm not trying to, but I'm going not low and long on the full. For the double pike, it's gotta be low and long, and I really have to drive the heels coming out, but I feel like I'm still punching more like slightly under twisted, but mainly that I'm just like straight or even a little closed off in the process of already breaking out. And as I'm punching, I'm already doing this, which is why it's carrying longer that way. It's harder to tell from this angle, but I'm gonna do one more because I know what I need to do. This one should be the last one. That's the one that I'm looking for. There we go. All right, I watched that full double pike back. It was much better, and I was very aggressive, and that's why it worked, but I still didn't fully square up right before I punched. That one, I think, again, just like the double tuck that I stuck on the floor, it was more of just like willpower and just being super, super tight that got the change in direction. Hey.
I'm done.
Oh.
Yeah, I watched your video on YouTube.
Did you like it?
Your animal is a moose.
A moose.
It's a moose.
Aren't giraffes bigger than moose?
Well, you're Canadian, so like,
Yeah. Okay.
it's not even like a slight. It's just like
No, it is what it is.
you're a moose, or yeah,
Moose.
Well,
I am a moose.
You are a moose.
Okay, I'm a moose.
He's a moose.
I like moose more than giraffe anyway, so that
Yeah.
Giraffe is kind of,
I would.
I feel like that would mean I'm really tall and really skinny.
You see, like I would be more of a giraffe because I have like a long neck too. You know, you don't have like huge. You're pretty proportional.
I'd like to think so. Okay, yeah, I'm a moose. How did I not think of that? The original plan was to be able to do some dismounts again, play with some Hanmas, play with some Paradas, and free hips. Like literally any of those four, or if I was feeling really good, being able to play with just a few of all of them. I'm gonna start with dismounts and see how I feel after that. I'm a little worried that I did do a lot of pommels, and I just wanna make sure that the dismounts that I was doing, my AC joint feels fine now, but I wanna make sure that it's not pissed off tomorrow. I'll start with dismounts, try and land 2 or 3, and we'll go from there. Not entirely sure yet, because also the college practice starts soon, and apparently I took way too long today, so. Alright, I'm gonna go for my handstand. If it's good, I'm just gonna throw it.
The vlog was a 10 out of 10.
My great Canadian coach over there is going for a stick. If he sticks it, he doesn't have to do it again. But if he doesn't, he sucks and he has to do it again.
My bet he's not gonna stick it. Dookie, bro. Dookie.
It doesn't count as cheating.
Guess I'm doing a third.
We're having the conversation again.
Yeah, you text me while I was asleep. I woke up at like 9:15.
It's a lot easier to do these when you're lighter. I'll take it. All right, I'm just chilling in my office. That was a long practice, very different vibe compared to the first vlog. It was a hell of a lot easier on that first day, probably because I was a little excited and it was a good day. It makes a big difference not having just even someone else in the gym around, even if they're not coaching or helping or anything, just having another body there, it makes a huge difference. Definitely a hell of a lot easier to train with a team and or just other people around where you're all working towards the same goal. It gets tough by yourself, to be honest. Tough days are all part of it though, even though it was a rough day and it was quite a struggle. As of right now, I'm tired, but don't think I made anything worse. I'll probably be pretty beat up tomorrow and I'll need the day to recover, and maybe even Thursday will need to be like a little bit of a lighter day to ease back into it. I'm trying to push pretty hard before Thanksgiving break, because once we get to Thanksgiving break, I want to be able to take, I don't know, let's say 5 days off and just enjoy the time off before we pick back up again to a more consistent schedule when all the guys come back for the few weeks before Christmas break and then season starts. So all I've got left is for Tuesdays and Fridays after practice, strength-wise, is just going to be core and some handstand work. Yesterday, I did more pushing and pulling exercises with like weighted dips and pull-ups, presses as well. That's when I tested my AC joint to be ready for today. So Monday and Thursday, I think, is going to be the heavier upper body strength day. And maybe that's why I was more sore. So now that I'm thinking about it, maybe I'll switch those 2 days around and do the core and handstand stuff on Monday and Thursday. And then when I know I have a day off the next day on Wednesday, Saturday, that's when I'll do the upper body strength, because I have a little bit more time to recover, because 3 out of the 4 events that I'm training are all upper body, so I don't want to overload there. That could have been a big reason why today was a lot tougher. I did just start getting back into the upper body strength after I was giving my shoulders a break, so that could be it too, that I wasn't like used to it, I guess. That'll be something that I'll experiment with in the weeks to come. All I've got left is the strength, and then I got to do my stretching routine, rolling out, ice my shoulders. Like I said, I'm still happy with what I was able to get done, considering how I felt, I guess, and how I was like kind of by myself. A pretty big mental shift, especially on days like today, where I know I don't have anyone there with me, and it's me in an empty building or an empty gym. If I fall, I fall. I'm the one that has to critique myself, give myself the right suggestions, which is kind of why I'm talking to the camera and doing this kind of stuff. And it's up to me to hold myself accountable to whatever plan I've set out to do at the beginning of the practice or the beginning of the week. It's tough. Some days are definitely easier than others, but it's a big adjustment and a big mindset shift that needs to happen in order for something like this to work. Learning a little bit each day, slowly coming back. Not sure when the next one will be. I decided to start filming once I got to the gym today and realized that it might be something that was beneficial for me to film because I knew I didn't have anybody there, and maybe that's what I'll do in the future. But thanks for watching. Stay tuned for the next one.